Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I was going to be sharing my Dominator build. This is my Earth and Martial Assault Dominator that I have everything in the world. I have Permadom, I have Unlimited End with Ageless, and then we have also nice ass defenses. So I was going to be talking a little bit about it and my attack chain and what I do typically when I get into fights and stuff. And this is going to be mainly for a lot of like AoE farming. This is not the fastest killer in the world, but it gets the job done. And this is something that I've been looking to do for a very long time, because my last controller, which had Earth, I was a Earth Trick Arrow. And if you've ever played a Trick Arrow character that was a controller, you probably know the suffering that you'll go through, because you're never going to kill anything in a normal time limit. You're gonna be there for like 20 hours trying to kill shit. So my goal was to basically make Earth, because I really like the Earth set, and turning it into a nice ass damage set. So Martial Assault really helps with that a lot. If you haven't tried Martial Assault, definitely try it, because it is freaking amazing. And I also landed up getting perma snipe with this build as well, just like I did with my blaster. So the way I was able to achieve the perma snipe is the same thing. You get tactics to boost up that 2-hit, and then you pop Envenom Blades. Since Envenom Blades last for 40 seconds, you can pretty much make that permanent with the recharge build that I'm running right now. You're basically have unlimited snipe, and you don't need the temporary power. I had the temporary power for a very long time, and I still have it on right now, but you don't need it, because you will hit that cap easily with the tactics and also that build up basically from the Martial Assault. So it's really, really good. So the way I typically play this character though is I open up with the stun, because the stun from Earth set is really, really good. And since I have this recharge build, I'm able to get stalagmites up every 30 seconds or so. Like it's probably actually less now that I have Ageless. So it's pretty damn amazing, because every single group you can be spamming it, or even in the middle of the group you'll be spamming it, because you don't, as I said before, you don't kill them as fast as you would like, especially when it's like a team of 8. And that's typically what I do, is I do the team of 8 kind of thing by myself. So the fact that I can do a team of 8 by myself, I'm already very happy with that. And I'm doing it at the maximum level that I can at this time. I'm at +3 at the moment, because I haven't leveled up enough to get to +4 yet, but it's still kicking some ass. So I definitely love this character. The interesting thing is that I don't use the volcanic gases as much as I would like, and that was one of my bread and butter holds on this character for a long time, up until I got the stalagmites. That recharge on it is just so sick that you'll literally have it like every single group, like no matter what, especially if you're on a team of people and you just wipe out the group in like 2 seconds, you'll still have stalagmites in the next group. Like it's so crazy. It's so crazy. In between that, we got Earthquake, which I landed up going with Dark Watcher's Despair on it for the 2-hit debuff on it. Because if you do the Earthquake, you're actually gaining a lot more. Like you're basically making the mobs not able to hit you, on top of all the defense that you already have on this build. So it makes it really, really good, because you'll never get hit. And the whole purpose that I wanted was to stop this whole bullshit of me like standing behind a wall and summoning like Earthquake and summoning Quicksand, and you know, like basically I'm doing everything from behind the safety of a wall, because that was the only way I could survive while I was leveling up. And that's really like, that's kind of sad, honestly. So I wanted to get out of that, and I wanted to be able to just run into groups like normally, almost like a Firekin style. But this is going to be focused on range. You don't want to go into melee with this guy. I'm going to tell you right now, because if you go into melee with this build, you're going to get insta-killed, basically. So don't even do that. I built this for range. So yeah, just keep it at range. So as far as stats go, we got recharge of 193%. So that's including hasten, which that's easily permadom, and then you also have the perma buildup from the martial line. And yeah, you got all those things recharging like lightning fast. So that's really good. You also pretty much have permanent Horror Frost from the Epic line, the Ice Epic line. So you can use that too while you're running around. You have extra hit points. So you're running around with, let's see. Let me pop it. So you're running around with 1,500 hit points, a little bit more than that. So that's really good because even if you did take damage, you're not really going to get hit by much. And since we ended up going with the, let's see, Entropic Chaos set on the Shuriken throw, and I put it on Trick Shot because Trick Shot is like the bread and butter of basically damage for this, since the Trick Shot like bounces from each mob, basically like the Shuriken bounces around. So that's really, really good. So I spam the shit out of that, and I have the chance for heal on each of these. So basically between throwing the regular Shuriken and throwing the you know, the trick one, you're constantly healing yourself from that. So you'll always, like, even if you lost a little bit of health, you'll end up just healing right back up. So it's so good. And since you have permadom, there's no reason for anything to be unstunned or held or anything, because you got dom. You know, like it's so freaking good. It's so freaking good. Also, I ended up going with the rains on this build. I have sleet and also ice storm. They're not that amazing. Like I just throw it because it's fun, but it's really, it's up to you and whether or not you want to keep that in your attack chain. For the most part, what I do is I go in with the stun lock them, throw them, immobilize all of them, and then I'll put Earthquake on the ground if I feel like I need to, but usually I don't. So usually I'll just use the Earthquake just because of the recharge IO that I have on it, just so we can get a little bit more recharge for a few seconds. So why not? And then I'll go to town on them with the trick shot, just to let it bounce around and all that. And yeah, and then I also ended up picking up the incarnate of Pyronic Judgment, which that's a ranged targeted AoE, basically a Nova. That thing is really good, and it's up really fast. It's like a minute and a half. All of them are a minute and a half, so it's actually really reliable as a Nova, because you can use that every other group pretty much. So it's nice. It's nice. Oh, going back to stats, because I totally like got sidetracked. Defenses. This is the important part. Range defense is the main thing. You're gonna be staying at range. So I got 34% to range on this. So this is including, we got maneuvers, we got weave, we got combat jump. You could even get hover if you want, and get a little bit more, you know. So, and then we have all the sets, obviously. So melee defense is at 20%. That's why I say be careful with the melee. And then AoE defense is the same. So you definitely got to be careful with the melee the most, because they will whoop your ass if you're standing like in their face. Especially like, for example, I was doing a little bit of there was like a console open world mission, just farming. And if you stand near the bosses and they do their freaking kung fu kick, you better be prepared for that shit, because they will kill you, you know? Like, so the whole purpose is being ranged and keeping them stun locked. That's the whole purpose behind this build. So of course for incarnates, the main purpose of incarnates all together, the whole thing is ageless. You need ageless, because if you don't have ageless, you're gonna be running out of end every single group. Like even halfway through the group, you're gonna be like in pew 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 status, because you're just gonna be out of end all the time. So that's the main thing you need to make this build work. So if you're planning to do this and you don't have ageless yet, I would say wait on it until you get ageless and then make the build, because you don't want to suffer like I did, because I really wanted this build to work, and I was hating the other build of like standing behind walls and like being a coward basically. So I wanted this build to work, and I was like suffering so much. So the only way I was able to get by until I got ageless was to get this temporary power called the Recovery Serum, which you can get 50 uses out of it, and it basically gives you like Empathy's Ra, in a sense, like the recovery aura from Empathy. So if you use that temporary power, you can get by and be able to, like, you know, make it work until you get ageless. But Yeah, it's just I don't really like using temporary powers that much, not unless I absolutely had to, like I did with my blaster. But yeah, that's pretty much the build. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't, and I'll be back for some more build videos. I'm looking forward to covering the rest of my characters, and if you guys have any build ideas, let me know and I'll be glad to cover it. But anyway, have a good day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.